When Bosk started getting buzz, I was confused because I didn't know what Bosk meant. Initially, I thought it was something like, I'm going to bosk you on the head. I was very wrong. Turns out a bosk is a bush or a small forest. Well, that makes much more sense and pretty much sums up the game in that one word. Alright, enough bosking. Let's bosk on over here for a quick summary of gameplay.
So Bosk takes place over the course of 1 year, with each round being a season: spring, summer, fall, winter. And so you start the game in spring, and what you'll do is each player will take turn planting their trees, and the trees have a number on them, and you can choose which number to play and where. So you're going to plant them on an intersection where lines are. And then let's put out some purple ones for my opponent here. So that's how spring goes. You just go through until everyone's planted all their trees, and then that's that. You'll move on to summer, which is the scoring phase for the spring phase. So in summer, apparently you've got hikers, and this hiker is going to come and look at all the pretty trees. So what you'll do is you're going to total the number of trees in a line, or their numbers at the top for each tree. Whoever has the highest total, will get more points than everyone else. So in this case, we look at this line where the hiker is going this direction, and there's a total of 2 for the red. And since there's no competition, red would get the points for that line. But if you had, say, an orange tree here, let's say you had 2 orange trees, you would add their total. So they've got 5, and then you've got 2. And in this case, because they have the highest number, they would win points for that line. You'd also do that vertically or horizontally, depending on how you want to look at the board. So let's say we go to this line, you've got 4 and 2, 6 for the purple, and then 4 for the orange. In that case, the purple would have the most, and they would get more points than everybody else. I quickly want to draw attention to the board. You've got a line going around the outside. That's to scale the game. If you're playing full 4 players, you ignore that line. If you're playing 3 players, that's your border, that line. And then if you're playing a 2-player game, you play on the back, which is even smaller. So the game scales for player count. The next season in the year, of course, is fall. And this is the time when leaves fall. And the way that works is you've got this wind board right here, and each round is going to determine the direction that the wind will blow. So let's say for this round, the wind blows this direction. When it's your turn, you will choose one of your trees, also a leaf token, and that's how many leaves will blow off of your tree. So in this case, I play this 2 for my red, and when you place a tree, you can go on either side of the square, or either square, going forward. So in this case, I could put one here, and then coming off of that, I could either put one here or here. So I'm going to choose to put it here. Alright, I've played my 2 token, now it's gone for the rest of the game, I can't use it. In another round, let's say I played this 5, so then I would take my trees, or my leaves, and let's say the wind is blowing now in this direction. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because you can choose which side, which column essentially, you have a little bit of control of where those leaves are going to go in order to get the highest majority. And speaking of majority, let's go to the winter season, and that's how you're going to score this phase. And you're going to score based on how many leaves are in each section. So you've got green, blue, this water, all around here. There are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. And then you'll go around and look at who has the most in each section. And you'll get points dependent on if you have the most or second most in each section. And of course, the better you do, the more points you'll get. After you go through that scoring, the year is over, and therefore the game is over. And of course, whoever has the most points wins.
First off, let me say I love Bosk. There aren't many tree-themed games, but it's definitely my favorite. Photosynthesis is going to be the obvious point of comparison, but they really aren't alike at all. Still, I enjoy Bosk quite a bit more. Why? First of all, there are quite a few meaningful decisions to make. In spring, where you put the trees. How do you strategically place them so that their totals add up to be the highest, but also set you up to have an awesome turn or an awesome round in the autumn phase? And when you do place the leaves, you can cover up your opponent's leaves by paying extra. but you have a limited number of leaves, so is it better for you to cover up or use the leaves in a different way? Oh, I haven't mentioned the squirrel yet. On a turn, you can place it down on top of one of your leaves to prevent your opponents from covering it. But you can only do that once in the entire round, so you have to be very discerning when and where you place it. And I really enjoy that. It makes it a nice, meaningful decision. So other than that, other things I appreciate are the theme. I think this game is super thematic. I don't think it could get any more thematic. Just the way that each of the seasons are represented, it all just makes sense. In spring, you're growing trees. In summer, you're admiring the trees. In fall, of course, the leaves are falling. And then in winter, well, you kind of go out and all the leaves are on the ground, and you can appreciate the dead leaves if you want to. So just the execution of the theme and the mechanisms, it's all great, all works together to be a super thematic game. Next is the art quality. Of course, with Kwanchai Moria, his awesome artwork, it's always great no matter what games he does. So Bosk is no different. The cover is just gorgeous, and it's very eye-catching on a shelf or something like that. However, my only thing is the board looks a little bit different than the rest of the art. It's not bad, but it just feels like it's a different style, and it doesn't quite fit with like the leaves and well, like the cover too. But that's the only thing. Like I said, it's not bad. It just doesn't seem to fit. One of the things that I really think that Floodgate Games did an awesome job with is this organizer, whatever this thing is, diagram that tells you where to place everything in your box and how to put it perfectly so everything fits. I think more game companies should do that, because sometimes you have a game where you can't fit everything in the box, even though it all came out of the box. How is that even possible? Okay, next. This game, Bosk, is good at all player counts. You can play 2 to 4 players, but because of the way that the board scales, you've got the one side for 2 players and then the line that delineates between a 3 and 4 player game. It works well at all player counts. So there's no depreciation in fun based on player count, and that is great. I like that there are 2 different types of scoring. So with the summer phase, you're focused on the tree placement and the totals of the trees, and then in the winter, where you have the area majority kind of thing going on, you get to think different ways and throughout the entire game, and it keeps things fresh. It keeps things moving on and keeps your brain from getting stuck in a certain way of thinking. You're always on your toes, planning ahead, and I really like that too. Now, there is the potential for someone to intentionally be mean in the game. So if it doesn't suit their strategy, you can technically cover up leaves just to be mean. So watch out for that. I don't think that it's necessarily something that would be easy to take advantage of, because the more leaves you cover up, the less you have to make your area larger. But that potential is there. So who is Bosk for? Well, I think anybody can enjoy the game. From beginner to strategic gamer, there's something there that everyone can have fun with. Now, you might have a little bit of trouble introducing a brand new gamer to this just because of the way the scoring is. You have to really understand how that works in order to do well in that first season. You got to plan ahead. So one of the things that might help you is to do a test round of scoring to show everybody, okay, this is how scoring works. This is how it's going to look at the end of the game. So this is how you might want to do your trees. Just some examples to help people really understand the scoring. That way, at the end of the game, they can't say, oh, well, I would have done this different if I had known that. That was an annoying thing that I hate hearing. But, it is what it is. So, where does Bosk fall on the rating scale? If you leaf it to me, it receives a seal of approval. If you enjoyed this review and want to see more of me and my interesting sense of humor, check out my YouTube channel, The Lighten Up Initiative, where you can see a video I made about another foresty game.
You shall not pass!
Until next time, remember, don't take the board game hobby too seriously, like losing your mind when someone covers up your leaves. Just lighten up.